Okay, so today's lesson is going to be the first lesson that's going to have a lot of formulas involved with it. I mean, I say a lot. We're going to learn 3 new formulas a day, which you may think is a lot. But that's okay because they will all be on the formula chart for you to use when it comes time to take the test. So let's get a little bit of terminology out of the way first, and then we'll start looking at the formulas. First, we're going to focus on finding the surface area and volume of prisms. So the lateral face of a prism are all rectangles. So if we look at this picture here, which one of these arrows is pointing to a rectangle? It's this one. So this is a lateral face. Surface area is the total area of all faces and curved surfaces of a three-dimensional figure. The lateral surface area and just while I'm thinking about it, we call total surface area SA. Lateral surface area of a prism is the sum of the areas of the lateral faces. We call lateral surface area LA. So total surface area is SA. Lateral surface area we call LA. The volume of a three-dimensional figure is the number of non-overlapping cubes, unit cubes, that will fill the interior of the object. The volume we abbreviate as V. Okay, so let's look back at our figure here. This top arrow is pointing to our triangle here. That's going to be our base. This shape right here is a triangular prism. That's what we call it. And how do I know it's a triangular prism? It's because the base is a triangle. I go by whatever shape the base is. This is a triangle, so it's a triangular prism. The vertical height that goes from the top straight down at a right angle, that's just called our normal height. This arrow here is pointing to an edge of one of the lateral faces. So we call this a lateral edge. And then this arrow is pointing to a side, or an edge, I should say, that's next up to a base. So it's next to a base, therefore it's called a base edge. Okay, let's look at now that we talked about some terminology and gotten that out of the way, let's look at formulas. So for a prism, we found the lateral surface area using the formula pH, where P is the perimeter of the base. And H is the height of the prism. And this height is not always going to be the same as the height of your base. So this H is different than the H on your base. See, this H isn't, if we look at the picture, this H isn't even in the base. The base are these blue triangles here. That H isn't even part of it. So H in our case stands for the height of the prism, not the base. Surface area will be pH plus 2b. So lateral surface area is just pH because we just want the edges or the area of the sides of the prism. Total surface area, we want to include the bases too. So that's why we include 2b. B is the area of the base. There's two of them, so we say 2b. Volume is area of the base times the height. Times the height of the prism. So that's our formula, or those are our formulas, I should say. Let's look at an example. Since all three formulas deal with P, H, and B, on these, what I would recommend is finding P, H, and B first, and then you can just plug it in. You did all your work. You just got to plug everything in. So first things first, we have to figure out what's our base. Well, here everything's a rectangle, so the base is the one it's sitting on. That's our base. The first thing we need to do is find the perimeter of it. Let's see, P. Well, I'm going to have 8 plus 6 plus 8 plus 6. If I add all those together, that gets me 28 centimeters. There's the P that I'll end up needing. The area of the base is going to be 8 times 6 because it's a rectangle. Six times 8 is 48 centimeters squared because it's area. And then the height of the prism. This is the other number that we haven't used yet. That 12 that tells us how tall it is. So this is 12 centimeters. Now, we have everything we need to answer our 3 questions: lateral surface area, total surface area, and volume. It's just a matter of can we plug it in. So lateral area is perimeter times height. We said the perimeter over there was 28. H was 12. So you do 28 times 12. That gets you 336. We're going to be in centimeters squared. So that's our lateral surface area, 336 centimeters squared. Another way to think of lateral surface area is think of it like you're going to paint a room. You're going to paint the walls in your room. So when you're calculating how much paint you need, are you going to try to figure out how big your ceiling and your floor are? No, you're just wanting to paint the wall. You're not wanting to paint the ceiling or the floor. Might feel kind of weird walking on painted carpet. So you're just interested in the walls. That's lateral surface area. Total surface area is, let's say you want to be weird. You want to live on the edge. You're going to paint the ceiling and the carpet. Don't know how you're going to paint the carpet, but you're going to do it. So for total surface area, we still need the walls, but now we need the ceiling and the carpet. So pH plus 2B. Well, we said P was 28, H was 12, and 2 times area of our base is 48. So if we calculate that, we would get 432 centimeters squared. So there's our total surface area. Now for volume. Formula for volume is area of the base times the height. So what did we say the area of the base was? Big B? We said big B was 48. Height of the prism, H, was 12. 48 times 12, 576 centimeters. But since we're doing volume, this will be centimeters cubed. This will be 576 centimeters cubed. Okay, so there's our first example. Since these are so in-depth, we're only going to have 2 today. 2 examples. There's our first one. Now let's look at our next one. So we have to look and see, is there any other shape besides a rectangle? I see a triangle here. So that means this triangle is the base, which means this is a triangular prism. So that triangle's our base. First thing we want to do, find P, B, and H. So let's try for P. So 5 plus 6. So remember, capital P is perimeter of the base. So I got 5 and 6. Uh-oh, I don't have this side. Yikes. Well, I'm going to just spill the beans now. This unit's going to have a lot of Pythagorean theorem in it. So if you didn't get it the first couple of times we looked at it, we're doing it again. Pythagorean theorem. This is going to be our long side of the triangle. So we're going to need to say 5 squared plus 6 squared equals x squared. 5 squared is 25, 6 squared is 36. Combine those two together and you get 61. Take the square root. And it's about 7.81. So this side is approximately 7.81 centimeters. That's what we need to add for our perimeter. If we add those three items together, we'll get 18.81 centimeters. So there's capital P. Now we need to get area of the base. We can almost call these like rapper names. That's big P, that's big B. So now let's get big B. We have a triangle here. Remember, our formula for a triangle is 1/2 little b times h. So 1/2 of 5 times 6, which gives us 30, no, half of 30, 15 centimeters squared. Then we have the height of the prism. That's the number that we seem to have kind of forgotten about. We focused on the base so much, we forgot about a number. This little 7 that's sitting out here, he's feeling lonely. So we have to use him. We can't have him feel lonely. So the height of the prism is 7. Okay, we've got big P, we've got big B, and we've got H. So we're in good shape now to just plug everything into the formulas. So lateral area is big P times H. P is 18.81. H is 7. So if we multiply those together, we'll get 131.67 centimeters squared. Now notice it says round to the nearest hundredth. That's what we need to round to, 2 decimal places. So we're going to say 131.67. In our case, we already kind of did that. Centimeters squared. Now for total surface area, this is pH plus 2B. Capital P is, we already said, 18.81. The height of the prism is 7, plus the capital B is the area of our base, which is 15. We add all those up, multiply, add where we need, we get 161.67 centimeters squared. So that's our total surface area. And then last but not least, volume. Volume is area of the base times the height of the prism. The area of our base is 15, height of the prism is 7. So 15 times 7 is 105 centimeters. Since it's volume, we'll need to do centimeters cubed. So 105 centimeters cubed is your volume. Okay, so there's the lesson. It's only one-sided because these are so in-depth. So since we've done the lesson, stay tuned and we'll get to the guided practice shortly.